This meeting is being recorded.
All right, boys, we are back here at King's Court. We're going to continue on the rankings here, and we're going to get back to sharing the screen here, folks. And bam, we are back. Number 7, Vinny, give it to me, Vinny. Who's number 7 this year?
All right, Hugo, click on Matty Daddy's team.
Matty Daddy coming in at number 7. He is Bijan Al-Ghabib.
And I think for Matt's team here, it's super obvious what everyone is going to love about it. The star Bijan. He should take, second year leap forward. Everyone's loving him in redraft dynasty right now. It's the absolute star of this team. Other than that, though, I am liking the depth. He does have quite a few receivers that I do believe in that he could sub in and out. I don't believe this year he'll ever have a quarterback problem. Even though he doesn't have an elite option, I still think he has 3 pretty good options there. So no need to stress at all. The one thing that I feel like everyone is going to like more than me, though, is Stephon Diggs. I truly believe Matt will not be starting Diggs, after maybe like a few weeks. He's going to have to look somewhere else. His projection, 14.6. No way. I'm
Too
not,
high.
I'm not
Too
think-
high.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that's like the average that he'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely love Bijan. I love Dak too, especially now that CD got that bag. But I'm not really loving the wide receiver room that I see. I mean, there's a lot of question marks too, though. Like, what is Diggs gonna do in Houston? Xavier Worthy's a rookie. He's throwing him in there right away. Deontay Johnson, I know there's a lot of hype around him being in Carolina with Bryce Young, hopefully having a bounce back year in his second year. Cortland Sutton has always been decent, but just lacks consistency, and he's got a new rookie quarterback now. He does have Jaden Daniels, so another potential if he goes off. Maybe he looks to trade Dak this year and ride Daniels. We'll see. Maybe he's worried though because Jaden's a running quarterback. He might get hurt. But looking at the bench too, I'm not really seeing a whole ton of depth that I like. But I mean, I think he'll be in the mix. I think there's just question marks. Like the whole middle of this league there's just a lot of question marks on a lot of the teams. So I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Yeah. So I'll come chime in here with Matty Daddy. I just think he's solid top to bottom, just good depth. He could fill in any hole that he would have on his roster with an injury. He could easily plug it in. I'll work my way back up on the screen here. I love Dontavian Wicks, Vinny. That's a wide receiver I know you're excited about. Keon Coleman is going to be so much fun just to have in fantasy and be able to keep track of this guy and all the funny stuff he does. He's just a fun player in my opinion. And just a solid lineup. I'm not a Diggs guy. I don't see it this year. Too many mouths to feed in Houston. When you got wide receiver superstars in the making in Tank Dell. I have Tank Dell in another league. I'm so jealous of you here, IB. But yeah, I'm just not a big Diggs guy. That would be my whole, not even James Conner. I think James Conner is going to be a solid RB2 this year. That's just going to play 14 out of 17 games and be on his way. But I think top to down, he'll be fighting for a playoff spot here at number 7. Anyone got anything else?
I think I said my piece.
Cool. Ricky, number 6.
Number 6.
Here. Number 6.
Show me the Marty Party.
The Marty Party coming in at number 6, folks. Give it to me, Ricky.
What do we got here? Tua, some hot Tua. Love that. He's going to be great to start the year. We'll see what happens when the weather gets cold and if he can keep from getting too many concussions. But, I mean, he's got the pieces around him. He's going to have big weeks. And I think Mike McDaniels and their offensive scheme has really helped kind of boost his confidence from the Brian Flores days. Also, Christian McCaffrey, I think he's still got the juice. I think he's going to be argument for RB1 in fantasy, top 5 for sure. DeAndre Swift, well, love him as a player. We'll see what Chicago's offense does. They should be able to move the ball, but rookie QB, a lot of new pieces, new regime. We'll see. Olave, I know, was this year 3 for Olave or 4?
Year
But
three.
he's got the talent. I know it was kind of rocky with Derek Carr last year in New Orleans, but it seemed like I think at the end of the year things started to click a little more. So Olave should have a bigger year. If he doesn't, I think people are going to really start to question his value as being considered an elite wide receiver. So Drake London, kind of similar. This is supposed to be his big year with like a formidable quarterback now. George Kittle, I loved what I saw from him. I watched that receiver show on Netflix. It was really fun to kind of get to know some of those players a little better. And then Ladd McConkey, he's probably going to be the wide receiver one in for the Chargers. So
He's such a question mark for me.
Yeah,
right
I don't
here,
know.
Ricky.
I don't know a ton about him personally,
I
but
like to think he'll be good, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I really that whole team is a huge question mark because they have the quarterback. They hope they have the wide receiver McConkey. So time will tell with him. Singletary is the RB1 for the Giants, right? So he's got him in his flex. That's not a bad thing to have. Do you want to scroll down to the bench?
Yep, coming up.
Yeah, so he's Smith Schuster chasing those rings back in Kansas City. But nothing really like jumping out to me. I feel like, Will Levis could take a big jump forward this year. He's a gunslinger. He could have some big weeks. But nothing like crazy jumping out. I feel like if he needs, I feel like his starting roster is pretty good, especially he's got some really elite players. But when it comes time to injuries and bye weeks, like who's he putting in to keep those consistently high scoring weeks? We will see.
Yep. All right.
What do you think, Vinny?
Yeah.
What, me?
Yep.
I like his starting roster though.
I do like the starting roster as well. I mean, of course, McCaffrey is just gonna win you a game or two along the way here. My worry, though, my biggest worry here is last year Marty had Tua, Kittle, Swift, Singletary, and Schultz all contribute good games, and he still missed the playoffs. Even if he gets the same exact out of those guys, like is he hovering right at that 8 mark? You got to get a little lucky to get in, or unlucky and you get kicked out. I feel like this is a team that I would expect to do better than what will actually happen.
Yeah, this is a team that can climb from number 6 for sure. But I think why he came in at 6, I personally wasn't too high on Marty. I forget what I ranked him. But what I thought here is the starting lineup is nasty, and he should be pretty effing good. I had him one spot down at number 7 on my personal rankings. So starting lineup A+. Obviously has a player that could kill you in McCaffrey. So he should be good.
I think if Olave and London take those big steps forward, he could be something to reckon with if his starting lineup stays healthy.
Yeah, if Olave and London show up like I expect them to this year, dude, this is a team that you don't want to see in the playoffs. For sure.
I would agree.
Let's see. Dude, the more like we keep seeing these teams that are like, all right, these are all pretty even.
These rosters are getting juicy.
I think it's gonna be such a gauntlet, dude, from number 6 seed to number 10 seed. And
yeah, because what's the difference of Koulis and Marty's team is that Marty has McCaffrey. I feel like
that was literally it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you.
That's what I mean. One player jumps you 5 spots.
Nuts. So, I think we're ready to crack the top 5 here, boys. Coming in at number 5, according to the league power rankings, is Dylan. Dylan, we're going to find you here. Hurts to be an Eagles fan. No, it does not. It's a great time to be alive, baby. Super Bowl this year, boys. So here, I'm going to love so much about your team, Dylan. It's literally my own team in my other league. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown stack. Boom, dude. This is the shit that wins you championships right here, boys. Having a stack like that, surrounded with the talent of Kyron Williams, Ken Walker. I'm a big believer in his starting lineup. We'll see about DeAndre Hopkins. That's my only question mark here for Dylan. I'm actually a Brian Robinson fan this year. I think he has all the opportunity in Washington, so he should be fine. And his bench, I think he has the ability to fill in at any position if he loses someone. So it's an okay taxi squad. I'm not truly in love with it. Sorry, just clicked that by accident. But I think this is a starting lineup that competes for a championship, and he's definitely going to be a playoff team. And I think like pretty cemented. Should he be injury free, he should be a playoff team in my opinion. Vinny?
For sure, for sure. I actually did take a look at everybody's team, and I only looked at this: one quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, one tight end. Your definitive starters at those positions. And I have Dylan at number one for that. Not in full power ranking, but I feel like his top six is the best top six when you factor in those positions. He definitely has a couple of guys I really don't believe in. DeAndre Hopkins, Jahan Dotson. I mean, Quentin Johnson, I don't think so either. I think Cole Kmet is going to lose touches and targets. So I think there's definitely work that needs to be done in that bench area. But Dylan is definitely a team where he would need his top superstars to carry him. And he definitely can. He has enough of them.
Yeah, and I think the players that he has too are relatively healthy players. So, Ricky, what do you got?
Yeah, that top six is pretty juicy. I think that alone is going to keep him in contention if they stay healthy. I'm not like super high on Hopkins. I kind of personally never have really been a big. I mean, I know he's had great fantasy seasons, but I just think I'm not super high on Hopkins. I do like seeing Cole Kmet as his backup tight end. Quentin Johnson is a big question mark. I'm sure he's really hoping things turn around for him this year. But yeah, Dotson was so hyped coming into the league and has just really been a stinker so far. So this is really make or break for Dotson this year, it seems. But I feel like he has the pieces to make the playoffs for sure, especially if those top six stay healthy. I think he'll be in the mix, and all you got to do is get in. So
yeah, I'm a firm believer the next like teams that we're talking about are gonna be just stamped into the playoffs. So we're gonna get into number 4 here. Is it Vinny? Who you got?
Yeah, number 4, which I'll let you two talk about, but I'll announce.
Yeah.
Number 4 is me.
La Porta Potty, right? Here we go.
La Porta Potty. Yep.
That's a great name.
Go ahead, Ricky. What do you think of this?
All right, sorry boys, just had a little interruption
I got
there.
up on my other screen here. So we got Trevor Lawrence starting QB. Who's your backup? Minshew. At least he got the starting gig to start the season. I think he's going to have some fantasy relevant games if you need him. Breece Hall. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and Hall stays healthy, he should have that year that we've really been waiting for. Zach Moss, is he the starter in Cincy right now?
It's looking 50-50.
Yeah.
Him and Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, okay, that's rookie, right? So
second year player.
Kirk, I feel like he's always been kind of underrated. And then especially having the stack with Lawrence and Kirk is going to be nice for you, Vinny. And then Nico Collins should just ball out this year. I'm not as high on Diggs as some people, especially compared to Sleeper and what they're ranking him to start the season. And then Sam Laporta should just continue pick up from where he left off. You have Amon-Ra and your flex playing a Sunday night game. And then Amari Cooper, I think, is just going to keep. I don't think he's over the cliff or anything. I think he's going to quietly keep producing. And then looking at your bench, I think you Christian Watson. I'm just so intrigued with Green Bay's wide receivers because it seems like every single one that you name is like, oh, I love this guy. This guy's going to go off. And so is one person just going to come out to be the number one, or is it kind of just going to be like your typical Brady offense where it could go to any one of them any week? I think that'll be the interesting thing to keep tabs on this season. But I like your roster, dude. Looking at your taxi, no one crazy jumping out at me, but I really like your team, Vinny.
So, Vinny, I'll come in here over the top. Should be an easy playoff team. Very solid. You just have good starters everywhere, dude. We'll see about the Zach Moss thing. I know he's in your lineup because he's probably your best option at RB2, but it's not the worst RB2 to have. If you traded picks maybe halfway through the year, I know you're gonna probably upgrade that position. If you're really making a playoff push, you're willing to take a risk like that. And having freaking St. Brown on this team is freaking unfair because you have him in every league I'm in with you. So
Love
hate seeing
him.
him
Ricky, you mentioned it
everywhere.
earlier, dude. It made me fall in love with Amon Ra even more from the
Oh,
receiver
dude.
show.
He's sick, man.
Well, I got brought up by the same dad. Like my dad was a bodybuilder and took things super strict and was like, "Hey, before dinner, we're going outside and playing baseball." Like he did that to me all the time.
That's awesome.
It made for a better you now, True. You understand me? You have hair
So
on
you're
your
saying-
chest now because of me, okay, True?
You're saying he's
He
not
asked me
going
all
to
the
end up on the
time,
trade
though.
block this year?
Absolutely not. That's the most untradeable player in this
Yeah.
league.
Yeah, Vinny, my only like Achilles heel is obviously your quarterback situation. If you lose Trevor, you're done for. So again, it's just something to address, which I know you will.
Tell that to your brother last year.
Yeah, freaking just
Yeah, I'll
find
just
it
pick
out
up
there.
Flacco.
Yeah, just go get Flacco.
That was
Seriously.
wild, but I don't think that's going to happen every year.
Hey,
But
we'll
it happened.
we'll see. We'll see.
It happened.
All right, number 3, Ricky, give it to me. This is the top
Number
three, boys.
3, coming
Top
up on
three.
the podium of our power rankings is Stick.
All right, Stick. Look at this where he is, boys. Number 14, last place finish. What a turnaround here, Rick. Give it to us.
Let's see. I am super high on Kyler this year. I'm really hoping in my redraft leagues this weekend I can take him in like the 7th or 8th round. I think he's going to ball out, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. I think they're gonna do good things in Arizona this year. Barkley in Philly, that's going to be a beast. I think he's still got some juice left. Rashad White should put up a good year. I think Devontae Adams, I think Gardner Minshew being named as the starter, they might not be winning a ton of games, but I think it's going to help Adams really be more fantasy relevant, especially after watching the receiver show on Netflix. Like, he was frustrated as hell last year.
Yeah,
And
he
they finally
actually
started
and
force-feeding him at the end of the year. He went off at the end of the year last year. After
real quick to spin
Go.
it off here on Devontae. I thought he came off as like borderline dick in the show.
Yeah,
like
with
for
just the
Shiva.
way he was. Was he always like this, Vinny?
He's emotional, but I think something that played into it, he had a lot of hospital balls. Like, imagine you're getting hit, like, not just hit, but like killed every single Sunday. Every single one of us would be so much more emotional and so much more pissed about it.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him, the benefit of the doubt. He did still act like a diva,
Yeah.
but I think he had somewhat of a right to.
Yeah, like big time diva. I get that he like, but for him to be like, I'm literally paid on this team to be the best. So if I'm not performing to where I'm performing, it's maybe not because I'm not doing my job. And like that's kind of the attitude that he gave off, in my opinion.
They also
So-
did have like a bottom offense for like the first like whatever 6
Yeah, he was
weeks of the
definitely
year,
frustrated.
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So keep going on Stick, Ricky. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. But I mean, dude,
What a
just moving
turnaround,
up the
dude.
lineup, Jefferson, Kelsey. I think Kansas City is going to be passing the ball a lot more this year. So it'd be interesting to see though. I think the Chiefs definitely kind of tried to preserve him. So they like, I don't think they really care about fantasy as an NFL team. So, but I think he's still going to be a great starting tight end in a 14-person league. And then Cooper Kupp and David Montgomery to round out his starting lineup that's a pretty scary lineup. And then looking at his bench, we got Neighbors on his bench. He's going to get a lot of looks this year in New York. There's not a whole bunch
What a
more
luxury to have, right?
jumping out on his bench, but Bryce Young though could be a good backup quarterback. I think people are expecting him to really have a bounce back year in his sophomore year. And yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like his team.
Vinny?
So when I was filling out my rankings, I did from 1 to 14. I was sitting there at number 1, and I originally did write Stick, and then I made it, and then I crossed it out, and I redid my list. So I 1 or 2, whatever he is, I truly do believe in this team. Um, when players get older, you get a little more worried about them, but I wouldn't be worried about Adams. I would be worried about Cup. All of the older players, though, I would still fully believe in. And having an absolute stud still and Neighbors on your bench that you can still plug and play for any of these positions, I think is top notch. I don't think anyone has a player as good as Neighbors on their bench right now.
Yeah, no. Sticks, again, props to you again. Last time here before we enter in the season. Great turnaround during the off season here. You did good and well deserved of a top 3. I'm jealous of this team. This is a good team going forward this year. So this is definitely one of the teams that's gonna compete here for a championship. So we got the top 2, ladies and gentlemen, and between the two of you.
Between the two of us,
That one. Hold on. We're replugging in here. All right,
this is
Ricky.
cute.
Yo.
Give my top 2 power rankings. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like it was
Well,
you and Diego for the 1 and 2 spots. So it was pretty crazy to see that because everyone had Diego and Ricky as the top 2, like top to bottom here. So thanks for those submissions. Diego, you want to tell them where you came in at? Even though, fuck it, you ruined it. Diego came in at number 2. So I had him come on because I need him to defend himself on why he didn't get number 1. Diego, why do you think before we go into your team, why you didn't get number 1?
I am number 1, first of all. I am number 1, but it was a close vote. I like the people's opinions. It makes me strive to get back on top. I want to be the best team this season. I want to go back to back. That's my goal for sure. And every move I make is to help me in my pursuit for another championship, of course. So I don't know what you've been doing. You've been going mostly player by player, starting lineup. What are you doing?
So we're gonna go with Vinny right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna break down your team.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna hear it live, and then Ricky's gonna break it down. You're gonna hear it live, and then you're gonna answer back and just rebut.
It's all good.
Give it to him, Vinny.
It's all good.
I mean, there's a clear reason why you're up here. You do have, either elite or close to elite players at every single position. And I feel like I'm with you on this, Diego. I believe in Njoku way more than other
yeah.
people. I really do believe that he's up there in that top 5 conversation as well. Even, you got to pick a guy off the bench. Myers, Palmer, Williams. I feel like there's still some guys there that you can grab. One thing, though, that I am weary about that I knocked you down for was Eckler and Elliott. I'm just not sure if you'll actually get production out of those guys.
Yeah.
But the fact that the only thing I can knock you on are 2 older running backs who may not play a lot, like that just speaks volumes of how good this team actually is.
Thank you.
Ricky?
I think I second pretty much everything that Vinny just said. I mean, if Joe Burrow stays healthy this year, dude, he's going to feast. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to ball the F out in Baltimore. Isaiah Pacheco has become a beast in the league. I think he could be a top 5 running back pretty easily. And then Brandon Ayuk and Waddle, you could consider them the wide receiver 2s on their team, but they can put up week winning performances. And I think Njoku is going to have the potential, like Vinny said, to be a top 5 wide receiver. I'm a little weary, I guess, when you get to Kamara and Eckler. Kamara scored a lot last year, but it was mostly through like the passing game, right? Like a lot of low volume yardage or a lot of high volume passes, but not a lot of yardage. So does he still have the juice, or were they just dumping it off to him a bunch? I think that's to be seen. But I mean, I like the pickup, and I'm not surprised by you going Drake May, but I think that's going to serve you well in the long run too. I think we've all, as at least all of us Pats fans, like what we've been seeing as of late. I hope they don't play him this year. Burrow says you won't have to worry about that.
So Ricky, it's funny you say that because I'm just my only dig at Diego's team. I love his team. I had him ranked my number one personally. If it happens again like it did last year, and again, Diego, I think you struck lightning in a bottle with the Njoku and Flacco stack to win a championship. Never in a million years would I thought that would be league-winning material right there. If Joe Burrow goes down this year, dude, I think you're gonna be hurting really bad, and you're gonna panic because if Drake May doesn't play this year, like, what do you got? You got nothing. I'd at least, if you're going this strategy, have Burrow's backup on your bench.
Never crossed my mind.
Never crosses mind. Again, two different guys. So, what do you think?
Jameis Winston.
There's no room for whoever Joe Burrow's backup is on my bench. There's no.
All right. So
I like the Jameson Williams though too, deep on your bench there.
That was a move I made right before the season started last year. That was the last move I made.
Realistically, give it to us. Where are you going to finish besides number one? Like, what do you think you're going to do?
Yeah, I definitely expect to make the playoffs. I know. I think I have a solid waiver pick, which it is what it is, but I'll make moves all year. I own all but one of my future picks. The future pick I did give up. I give up a 25 second round pick, Dude Joker, for Eckler. I brought in Eckler when he was still part of San Diego. I like Eckler. I know he's in good shape. If he gives 2 more years, he has an argument to be, say, a top 5 back in the last decade. So I just like Eckler. I know he can catch it. I know he can run it. They may not give him all the snaps, but I'm fine with Eckler as a flex, as my security blanket for this year. Because I didn't have Eckler last year. Zeke was in my championship lineup, which I'm fine with. Zeke and Jacoby Myers and Joe Flacco were starters in my championship team last year. So if I win this year, mostly team I drafted, but it is not easy. A lot of you have super good teams, and definitely healthiest team usually makes it at the end. But I knew last year if I got Joe Burrow back in any capacity, I'd do decent. And I never got him back yet, so last year was low.
All right. So you heard it here first from our champ. I know Diego could go on all day. So clap to Diego one last time as champion going into the season. It's a new year, so thank you for joining. That means one thing and one thing only. Are you staying or going?
I'll talk one more segment.
All right. Diego will stay. Fuck it.
One more segment.
Number one team according to the power rankings. Ricky, you got a lot of first place votes, man. Congratulations. You got the number one team going into it. The Moisty Boys Football Club, baby.
Let's go.
Coming in. Vinny, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, got the most first place votes. I did end up switching you into first over Stick. I thought you two were the top two. But yeah, Ricky, I do love this team. It's crazy that you did Dynasty for the first time with us, and this is what you have on paper right now.
Yeah, this is very impressive, Ricky. First year, very impressive.
Super impressive. I'm
still learning how to do trades, but
hopefully, if you only gave up a future first for Puka, that was a grand slam pick. Where we got Puka.
Yeah, that's the one trade I do not regret at all. I would do that 1,000 times over, that first round pick for Puka.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. It was his rookie year. I don't regret that one.
Yeah. Keep it going, Vinny.
Yeah, but even though you traded 2 first rounders away, you have an extra second, and what you got in return was Puka and Josh Jacobs. I mean, I still feel like that's.
I traded this past year's first though too, so it was 2 of my the following year's first for Jacobs. Got you.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I was just looking.
I was just so horny. I was like right at the deadline, undefeated, and I just wanted to secure.
You went for it. We called it right then and there, Ricky.
Like,
nothing wrong with
I have plenty of trade chips too to get him back if I want. Yeah. Like if I have players go down, and I don't think I have it in me to there'll be players going up on the trade block so I can retool. But
I'm
for right
very
now,
high on the Packers offense this year. Very high. So,
especially with Dylan going down, that only
know.
boosts his value. So
yeah, that's good for Jacobs.
For sure, they're going to look at him maybe a little more workhorse style.
So
But
here,
even though
keep going, Vinny.
I was going to say it's the best group of wide receivers in this league, and I think it's not even close. And that's my main reason why I did put you at number one, though, between Tyreek, Puka, Devonta, Rashee Rice.
Best receivers
even
in
with
the league.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel and Shakir there as well. I believe in both of those guys. It's
Same.
crazy that you
got
have
3 potential
like-
stacks with Allen, which I
there's
agree with.
no other team that competes with your top 6 here. But then also to still have players like Josh Allen, Jacobs, Mixon, and Kincaid to throw in with that is crazy to me. So congratulations. It doesn't work like this every single time you start a Dynasty League. But congrats, dude. This is an amazing team.
Yeah,
It's a long way to go.
I know Jordan is like, this is Jordan's wet dream of what he tried doing last year with picking like a win now compete mode and seeing it through in the off season, like for a first timer. What Jordan has, and unfortunately a bad ranking coming in at number 13 versus what you have, and both of you guys being first years. So it's all about how you manage it and the risks that you take. Ricky, I thought your move, again, for Jacobs trade deadline, that's the kind of go for it, dude, that I fucking love in a league. So that was freaking heads up by you, and well-deserved number one ranking. I know that Diego wishes it was him, but it's still solid.
Right. It's all for nothing if you don't win it. So
Yeah.
he won it, you know.
Yeah.
Props, dude.
So, lastly, boys, because that was the power rankings, 1 through 14. Real quick, going through it. Number 1, Ricky. Then it was Diego. Then it was Stick, Vinny, Dylan, Marty, Dispensa, Joka, me, Poulis, Ivy, Jordan, Dumont, and AK. That's a list. I'm gonna post it tomorrow, after everyone's seen this video, so that you can see it and we can talk about it. But this is fun, boys. It's next week. We're getting into it.
I can't fucking wait, dude. I'm so excited.
I'll talk about it all year for this moment.
Yeah, honestly, like having the Dynasty League too. Appreciate you guys for bringing me into it because it's made the off season like so much more fun. Like it's more engaging and stuff. It's my other redraft leagues. Like it's people don't really engage like you guys do. I know I've only met. I haven't even met everyone yet, but appreciate you guys taking me into the family.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm mostly excited for just new season, dude, because this is the fun part to me about Dynasty that's over. I live for the off season. It's my favorite time. I like wheeling and dealing, making the trades, moving up and down the draft. The draft itself is my favorite part of Dynasty, but this is where all that hard work pays off. So real quick, give me a winner this year because this is the last podcast we do going into it. I'll start, and I'll go out on the limb and say Diego repeats. So he just has the roster for it, and I think he has the depth on his bench if he has injuries besides quarterback. If my only asterisk with Diego winning it is Joe Burrow loses, then I give him zero chance, like 0.0000 chance of winning the league. Ricky, who do you got winning it? Don't be afraid to say yourself.
I think the people have spoken. I got to pick myself. The one thing though, with all the extra stacks I have with Kincaid and Shakir and Samuel, is if Allen goes down too. I mean, I still like the rest of my starting lineup, but then that's really gonna hamper my chances because I won't have that stack anymore. But I don't know. I mean, it's such a long way to go, but yeah, like.
Real quick, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds before we jump into Vinny because we're running out of time. Give me the team you're most scared of, Ricky.
Ooh, I would say, I mean, just the top 4. So Diego, Vinny, and Stick. Right? Stick, yeah.
All right, I like it. I like
paper right now. I mean,
so
it's just assuming health those are the teams that scare me the most.
There you go, Vinny. Who's your winner?
You know what? I'm gonna be different. I know I put Ricky at 1, but I'm gonna say it is Stickney. I'll go back to him now. Something happens to Josh Allen. Ricky doesn't even make the playoffs. Stickney wins.
Yep. Diego, give me your winner.
If I'm not gonna pick if I'm not gonna pick myself, I'll pick Dylan. I just think if AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts have a good year, that or Ricky. But I like the top of this league. I like how Despensa drafted. He got Worthy. I'm very high on Worthy. But all you guys have really good teams. Running backs, wide receivers. There's different ways to win it. If I had 4 strong wide receivers, I'd be telling you 4 strong wide receivers are way to win. But if I have 4 running backs, it is what it is. But you gotta make deals.
Yeah.
Draft well. Drafting well. It can reset you with back-to-back good drafts. That's the recipe for success. The right amount of teams make the playoffs. The healthiest teams usually make the playoffs. Looking forward to a good year. Absolutely.
All right, boys. That's gonna
Buddy.
do it. You had it. Power rankings. Thank you, boys. Appreciate
Good
it.
stuff, guys.
Yeah. Peace out. Peace out.
Take it easy.